All right, what is going on, everybody? We got one game and one game only to talk about from last night. Number 77, Luka Doncic, made his debut for the Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to talk about that, talk about some other things that have been floating around about the Lakers and such and so on. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment them down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. I'm going to say this at the top, and it's going to sound funny. My chair is very squeaky today. So if you hear a lot of squeaking, that's what it is. It's my chair. I'm leaning back and leaning forward and all that stuff. I just I just sat in it and I was like, it's squeaky today. Um, but yeah, Luca made his debut yesterday. Um, really cool stuff. Some might say it was a bit underwhelming. I would say it's about the expectation that I had. Um, Coming off of a leg injury like Luca is, not playing since Christmas, being on sort of a pseudo minutes restriction, playing. He was supposed to play 30 minutes. He played around 24. Um, and he was kind of being, I don't want to say like too too passive, but he was overpassing the ball at times. Sometimes it led to some brilliant plays where he overpassed it to LeBron, and then LeBron saw the next guy, and he got it to the next guy, and it looked very, very beautiful. And in fact, like the of the game, first plays of the game were back to back lobs to Jackson Hayes from LeBron and Luka Doncic. Just back to back. So the passing is contagious. But it worked. It worked at times. We can dive into the stats a little bit here. I'll tell you the numbers straight up. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Luka had 14 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Um, Only one turnover though. Had 3 personal fouls, a couple of take fouls. Just not wanting to get blown by, so he took the foul. He didn't shoot the three ball well. That's expected. That is expected, considering he's not in game shape. He has to get his legs under him. He was 5 for 14 overall. Um, LeBron James at 24 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, close to a triple double. 3 of 7 from three, 10 of 17 overall. Rui Hachimura with 21, Jackson Hayes with 12. It felt like Jackson Hayes had 40 the way he was catching lobs out there last night. Austin Reeves. I haven't had a chance to talk about Austin Reeves. I've never been the biggest Austin Reeves fan. I just thought he was a cool player. Like he does his thing. He surprisingly compliments LeBron James. Um, he's been on a run recently. He had 22 points tonight, 9 rebounds, 3 of 5 from three, 6 of 10 overall from field goal. And like the last 10 games, like we can go into his game logs here. Since February 1st, he's had a 27-point game against the Knicks, a 20-point game versus the Clippers, a 23-point game versus the Warriors, a 45-point game versus the Indiana Pacers, and a 22-point game versus Utah last night. He's been on a roll in February. And we're not even like halfway through the month yet. And these have all been wins. And he's shooting the ball at a good clip. Um, let's see here. Except when he played Golden State, he didn't shoot. He missed all his threes. But besides that one game, he shot upwards of 40% from three. He shot 60% last night from 3 point range. Crazy stuff for Austin Reeves. I commend him. It's not easy to get in your groove with LeBron on the court as ball dominant as he is. And to add Luca, I hope Luca and everybody knows that like Austin Reeves might be like some nights the pseudo second option, especially like nights like tonight where LeBron has 24 and Austin Reeves has 22, and he is an efficient 22. Off the bench for the Lakers, Jordan Goodwin with 17, leading scorer off the bench. Surprise of the game, really. He's been He's been bounced around the NBA. Jordan Goodwin um, hasn't really found a home, and I don't think that his home will be in LA. But this is a good game from 17 points. Gabe Vincent 11 hit some good threes off some LeBron passes, off some Luka passes, and the last thing for the Lakers, at least in the stat category, is at 8:09, Luka hit his first shot as a Laker. It was a three in the first quarter. Um, Talk about the fit after seeing it for one game, and I'm not gonna dive too deep into it just because it is one game. I think it's gonna work well. I think what is gonna make this team really good is that, and especially what JJ Redick did last night, it was a little taste of what I think he's gonna do throughout the rest of the season. Is that he's gonna stagger LeBron and Luka's minutes, so there's always a ball handler on the floor. He's gonna start them obviously together, and then maybe close to the end of the first quarter, one of them's going to come out, one of them's going to stay in, and then start of the second, vice versa. This flip back and forth, and then starting the second half, they'll start again, and then whatever the case may be, going down the stretch, they will close out the game together. Um, I think it's going to take. We don't have that many games left, but to be honest, I think it's going to take at least a dozen games, like 10 or so games, for LeBron and Luka to really stop. It's going to take really stop overpassing the ball. And what they did last night, they ran Rui Hachimura at the five sometimes, which is good. Rui isn't the best 3 point shooter. I think he shoots it like somewhere. Where is he at here this season? Uh, he shoots it at a 40% clip, at a 40% clip, which isn't bad. But I think I think what they did last night was good. They missed some boards because they were small. They missed some rebounds because they were smaller. But I think if you can make it up and run and actually have like a five a full lineup of people that can shoot, it will be better. I think Luka's catch and shoot ability won't be the best with LeBron this season, the remainder of this season. I his jump shot is just so slow, and he likes to get into the step back, and he really doesn't do the catch and fire threes. I think Luka's gonna struggle with that. I think his best bet is what he did last night was to fake the three, drive it in, and then kick it back out because people are gonna have players are gonna have to collapse on Luka, and I think LeBron James is more comfortable taking a catch and shoot three rather than Luka at this point. Um, but I don't think LeBron's really gonna have to do any adjusting because he's played with so many different players, and I think LeBron can think back on his time playing with Kyrie in Cleveland together and think I need to be more off ball sometimes, but also I need to let him do his thing. Let the other smart guard do his thing. And I think that's brilliant. Um, is it going to save LeBron's legs? Like his energy? At times, yes. I think what happened last night was LeBron didn't play the previous game. At the end of this game, he did have some pain somewhere. They showed him in the tunnel going to the locker room. He was in some pain. I don't think it's too much. I just think it was like a cramp or something, or a strain, a slight strain of something. But I, I think I think this is gonna work. Now, for the people that are saying, "Oh, they're gonna win the championship this year," rah 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 rah, I think if they managed to get Mark Williams, I talked about that in my last video, where that trade was rescinded. It was Dalton Connect for Mark Williams. If they if they had Mark Williams on the roster right now, I would say they can make it to the Western Conference Finals. Now that they really don't have a center and their guy is Jackson Hayes, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but I see his value next to Luka, and I think everybody with a brain knew that Luka was gonna make Jackson Hayes look like prime DeAndre Jordan. You know, like he was gonna make him look really good, and that's exactly what he did last night. what's Jackson Hayes' career high? Not career high, season high in points this season. Um, that might have been his season high. Oh my. Oh yeah. Let's see all recent games. Let's see all. Let's see. Let's see. 12 points for Jackson Hayes. Oh yeah, no, he. Am I reading this right? Yeah, he tied it. Yeah, yeah, he tied his season high with 12. Last time he had 12 points was against the Raptors. Yeah, he tied it. So Luka's gonna make people look good, especially athletic centers like Jackson Hayes. Um, Back to my point though, I don't think the Lakers are primed to win a championship this year, and I don't think they want to win it this year. I think they want to just see how this LeBron James and Luka thing works out, see how what they need to do around them, more specifically around Luka for the long haul, but also maybe next year, maybe the year after that, trying to win it with LeBron to send him off into the sunset. Call it a career. I think that's a very smart thing to do, and I don't think there's any rush with this roster at all. But let's get into the Jazz side of things very quickly here. For being down, by the way, just so we know, the Lakers won the game 132 to Jazz 113. The Jazz did not play particularly well. They got some points up in garbage time. John Collins with 17, Walker Kessler with 13, Jordan Clarkson with 16, Isaiah Collier with 13, Laurie Marketing with 17. Um, they said it on the broadcast, and I'll say it here. These are just two teams in different categories right now. The Jazz are rebuilding. The Lakers are on whatever the Luka timeline now. So it's not really a competition at this point. I think the Lakers would still blown them out even if Luka didn't play because Luka didn't play that well. Um, let's look at some team stats here. Ooh, yeah. The Lakers had him beat in almost every category. Oh, the Jazz had one more assist. That makes sense. Sure, that makes sense. Um, Damn, really? The Jazz had more fast break points, huh? Well, I would say the Lakers had more fast break moments, but the Jazz probably converted more of them, yeah, because the Lakers are throwing lots of lobs, just sloppy passes sometimes. Um, yeah, the largest lead was 34 for the Lakers at one point. Wow, that's incredible. Um, I just want I just want to say this, because there are people like, oh, Luka played bad, like da 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 da. Mavs won the trade. I want people to always keep in mind that Kobe didn't score in his first game as the Laker, arguably one of the greatest shooting guards ever. LeBron James lost his first game in Portland against the Blazers. It could have gone a hell of a lot worse. I just think Luka needs his legs under him. I think he just needs some more time to get going. And yeah, I think that's it. I mean, there's some stuff floating around on Twitter and stuff, and like I really don't want to get into it right now. Um, I can look at it real quick. Let me look it up real quick. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I completely forgot. It was my bad. Mavs legend Dirk Nowitzki was at the Laker game supporting Luka. Um, that was good. Good to see that. Um, Seems as if everybody's turning on the Mavs, which isn't something that we haven't talked about before. Um, yeah, I mean, Luca looks very awkward at times, like just as on the team. But I think overall he's gonna fit in with this team. I think I think JJ being Luca's friend Um, now being the coach of the team um, is great. There's already a relationship there. Number 17 on your screen, Dorian Finney-Smith, was friends with Luka in Dallas, and I think it's all gonna work out. I think this is just. I think this is just gonna be another season for this Lakers team. I don't think it's a particularly important one. I just think it's important to get Luka healthy, get Luka in shape, and get him ready to carry this franchise on. I think that's the point. Um, I think him learning from LeBron and the stuff they do this season, there's going to be a lot of crazy highlights. There's going to be great stuff that happens, and we'll see what else we get. I do want to look at the Lakers' schedule very quickly. I know All Star break is coming up, so there's not going to be too many games too recently, like too not recently. What's the word? Like coming up, I should say. Too many games coming up, but like post All Star break. Let's see here. We'll go like yeah, we'll go like the end of March here. Why not? So oh, wow. After All Star break, they have Charlotte, Portland, Denver. This is the rest of February. Charlotte, Portland, Denver, Dallas. That's a big one. That's a big one. That's on TNT too on February 25th. Minnesota and the Clippers back to back, end of February and beginning of March. It's a pretty schedule. You can you yeah, yeah I mean you blew the Clippers out last time, and you see them back to back at your place. You probably could get both of those, but like Portland's been playing well. Denver's, you never know. Dallas, that's a big one. That's a really big one, man. Wow, I didn't realize that was so close. That was so close. That's in Lakerland too. That's in La La Land. Going into March, and then we'll stop reading the schedule. I don't want to get too far in the weeds here. Um, New Orleans, New York, Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Denver, Phoenix, San Antonio, Denver, Milwaukee again, Chicago, Orlando, Indiana, Chicago, Memphis, and Houston. The month of March is that's a hard month. That's a that looks like a crazy month. Cause like um you play Denver twice, you play Milwaukee twice, you play they blew out Indiana. I'm not worried about Indiana. Memphis, yeah. Uh, Houston, yeah, I'm worried about that game. March is a hard month. They need to lock in. They need to really get the ball rolling and coming back from All Star break in the rest of February, and then hit the ground running in March. That's gonna be a big month for this team if they really want to make a playoff run. And then April, talk about April. There's only 9 games left in April. If they're worrying about games in April and they're not resting guys, that means they're in like a really good spot. You know. But yeah, that is Luka's Laker debut. Um, like I said, a bit underwhelming, but the aura, it was just insane. It's so surreal to just see him in a Laker jersey and like hear the Lakers announcer just call his name when he's getting in the starting lineup, and seeing like the Laker logo behind him in his post press conference is just crazy. It's crazy times we live in. Um, and yeah, and we will talk about tonight's games tomorrow. Quick little video for you guys, keeping it under 20 minutes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you all tomorrow. Cheers.